The green tube frame buggy crossed the dirt trench before powering up the dangerous rocky slope. However, when the rear wheel struck a fallen tree trunk, the vehicle came to a sudden stop. The rear tires spun violently, throwing out thick smoke as the buggy became stuck against the fallen tree. The blue ATV tried to maneuver through the narrow, steep dirt trench. As it climbed over a large rock ledge, it suddenly lost momentum, reared up vertically, then flipped backward and ended up stuck on its side in the bottom of the trench. The buggy powered through the muddy pit before charging up the steep hill. It suddenly lost its balance, reared up, flipped onto its roof, and slid all the way back to the bottom of the slope, coming to rest beside a fallen tree. The gray ATV navigated through the rocky, uneven slope, but while making a turn near a large tree, it lost balance, tipped onto its side, and rolled once before coming to rest against a dirt trench. The black buggy tried to squeeze through a rough trail covered with large rocks. As it attempted to climb over a high rock ledge beside a tree, it suddenly lost balance, flipped onto its roof, and came to rest on the rocky path below. The orange and black buggy attempted to climb the rough, rocky hill in the forest. Due to the steep incline, it suddenly lost momentum, flipped backward, and landed completely upside down on the rocky slope. The buggy struggled to gain speed while climbing the steep hill, but its front two wheels slammed into a large rock, causing the vehicle to rear up and flip over. It rolled down the slope before coming to a stop, surrounded by a thick cloud of white smoke pouring from the engine. The gray buggy powered up the dangerous rocky slope but struck a tree trunk, causing the front end to lift vertically. The vehicle flipped once into a narrow, rocky gap before recovering its balance and getting back under control. The gray buggy aggressively powered up the steep, muddy slope deep in the trench. Due to the extreme incline, it suddenly lost momentum and traction, flipped backward, and rolled over before becoming stuck upside down between two dirt walls. Under the glow of the headlights at night, the blue tube frame buggy tried to power up the near-vertical rocky hill. Due to the extreme incline and lack of traction, the vehicle suddenly flipped backward, rolled onto its roof, and slid down to the bottom of the slope through a thick cloud of dust and debris. In the darkness of night, the buggy with striking green underglow lights attempted to conquer the near-vertical rock wall. After losing balance near the top of the climb, the vehicle suddenly flipped backward and landed roof first on the rocky ground below. In the darkness of night, the buggy attempted to climb the near-vertical rock wall but lost momentum and suddenly reared up. The vehicle flipped once before landing perfectly on all four wheels and staying upright on the rocky slope. In the darkness of night, the red and black buggy with an American flag mounted on the rear attempted to climb the steep, rocky slope. As it reached a large rock obstacle, the vehicle suddenly reared up, flipped backward, and landed upside down on the rocky hillside. In the darkness of night, the buggy pushed hard to climb the treacherous near vertical rock wall. When it hit a large rock halfway up the slope, the vehicle flipped backward and came to rest completely upside down. The orange tube frame buggy fought for traction as it powered up the muddy, slippery hill. When it reached the steepest section, the tires lost grip, the vehicle slid backward, then rolled over and came to rest upside down on the hillside. The gray buggy aggressively powered up the slippery dirt hill deep in the forest. After a failed attempt to maintain traction, a cloud of dirt and sand exploded into the air. The vehicle lost momentum, rolled backward, struck a tree, and flipped completely upside down at the bottom of the slope. In the darkness of night, the blue tube frame buggy tried to build momentum and climb the steep, narrow rock wall. As the vehicle reared up vertically, the rear end slammed into the rocks, creating a shower of sparks before the entire buggy flipped over into the rocky gap below. The gray buggy pushed hard through the narrow, steep, muddy trench. As it approached the near vertical section ahead, it lost momentum, slipped slightly, then tipped onto its right side and became stuck in the middle of the trench. The blue tube frame buggy accelerated hard up the dirt hill. As it reached the steep section, the vehicle suddenly reared up vertically, flipped backward, and rolled down the slope before crashing heavily into a tree. The blue tube frame buggy accelerated aggressively, spraying mud and dirt while producing thick smoke as it attempted to conquer the slippery dirt hill. Near the top of the steep climb, the vehicle suddenly reared up and rolled back down the slope, disappearing through a cloud of heavy white smoke. The gray buggy powered aggressively up the muddy dirt hill. As it attempted to overcome the steep section beside the rock wall, it lost momentum, reared up vertically, then flipped backward down the slope before landing safely on all four wheels. The red buggy aggressively charged up the dangerous dirt hill at high speed. However, the steep and uneven terrain caused the vehicle to lift dramatically, flip completely upside down in midair, and crash onto its roof at the bottom of the trench. The orange tube frame buggy powered up a slippery dirt hill. As it attempted to climb over the ridge, it lost balance, causing the right side wheel to bounce into the air and sending the entire vehicle flipping upside down into the dirt trench below. The purple tube frame buggy powered hard up the steep dirt trench. The vehicle suddenly reared up vertically, flipped backward, and rolled over completely, coming to rest upside down at the bottom of the dirt ravine. gray buggy accelerated up the tall, slippery dirt hill in the forest. As it approached the top of the climb, the vehicle suddenly reared up backward and lost traction, sliding back down the slope halfway from the peak. The red buggy aggressively powered up the near vertical sand dune. However, when it hit a rough section of the terrain, the vehicle was launched into the air, flipping through a cloud of sand and dust before ending upside down on the slope. The blue and orange buggy aggressively powered up the near vertical sand dune, kicking up a massive cloud of dust. As it reached the top of the slope, the vehicle was launched into the air, flipped over, and slid back down the hillside. However, it managed to land safely on all four wheels. The blue buggy with yellow decals accelerated aggressively to conquer the near vertical sand dune, creating a massive cloud of swirling dust behind it. As it launched over the top of the slope, the vehicle was thrown into the air, flipped backward, and landed upside down on the other side of the dune. The buggy with a white frame aggressively powered up the near vertical sand dune, kicking up a massive cloud of dust behind it. As it approached the top of the slope, the vehicle suddenly lost momentum, flipped backward, and came to rest completely upside down on the sandy hillside. The buggy aggressively powered up the near vertical sand dune, kicking up a massive cloud of swirling dust behind it. As it approached the top of the slope, the vehicle was suddenly launched into the air, reared up backward, and landed upside down on the sandy hillside. The pink and purple buggy attempted to climb the slippery sand slope beside the grassy embankment. However, while moving along the rough hillside, the vehicle suddenly lost momentum, flipped over once, and rolled into the deep, sandy trench through a cloud of dust. The red buggy with a white frame accelerated hard to conquer the extremely steep sand dune. As it climbed the high section of the slope, the vehicle lost traction, reared up vertically, and performed a backward flip along the hillside. After the flip, the buggy landed safely on all four wheels. The pickup truck accelerated hard, blasting through a large, muddy puddle and sending water and dirt flying everywhere. It continued speeding along the track, but when it charged up a slanted embankment at a corner, the vehicle lost balance, rolled onto its right side, and came to rest completely overturned. The buggy with neon green wheels powered through the turn before charging up the steep dirt hill surrounded by dense vegetation. The vehicle was launched into the air, reared up, then flipped down the slope and came to rest completely upside down in the open dirt area below. The white Buffalo branded buggy accelerated hard up the steep dirt hill surrounded by rows of trees. As it reached the higher section of the slope, the vehicle struck a tree stump, reared up vertically, and flipped backward. It continued tumbling down the hill before landing completely upside down in the open dirt area below.
Get to it, get to it.
The silver-gray off-road buggy aggressively powered up the steep dirt hill covered with tree roots. Halfway up the climb, the vehicle lost momentum, reared up vertically, and flipped backward. The buggy rolled several times before crashing into a tree beside the trail. The buggy accelerated aggressively through the turn to conquer the steep dirt hill surrounded by rows of trees. As it approached the top of the slope, the vehicle lost momentum, slid backward, then flipped down the hillside before landing safely on all four wheels. The black buggy with blue wheel rims attempted to climb the rough dirt hill but lost traction and started sliding backward. The vehicle flipped backward down the slope, but after completing a full roll, it successfully landed back on all four wheels. The green buggy accelerated hard and charged up a dirt hill. Due to the strong momentum, the vehicle was launched into the air, lifted its rear end upward, and flipped backward before landing safely on all four wheels. The green buggy powered up the tall near vertical dirt and sand slope. As it approached the top, the vehicle lost traction, reared up, and rolled repeatedly down the hillside. The buggy successfully landed on all four wheels at the bottom. The green buggy aggressively powered up the steep dirt and sand hill. As it approached the top of the slope, the vehicle suddenly lost momentum and came to rest completely upside down, right on the peak. The dark red buggy aggressively powered up to conquer the steep dirt hill. As it reached the top, the vehicle suddenly lost momentum, slid backward, then flipped repeatedly down the slope before coming to a stop on its side. The hellacious branded buggy accelerated hard to climb the extremely steep dirt and sand slope. However, shortly after starting the ascent, the vehicle lost momentum, lifted its front end into a backward flip, and landed completely upside down in the ditch below the slope.